I feel about the
I could
city.
live here when I'm in my 50s.
I came from
when
New
I'm
York.
50, I could do it.
New York is the greatest city in the world. LA
Okay.
Yes, it is. What compares with New York?
I don't disagree, but I think that here's my deal about New York. I love it. Was there most of my 20s. Tried to, because I was with a dude in New York, rented for 6 months in Chinatown, basically. I couldn't even afford Tribeca. I mean, I could. It was just like, I can't give, this is criminal. This is a criminal amount of money.
Right.
Like, the fact that you're charging me for this is,
right. Chinatown's cool.
This is un-American.
Right.
To charge me for this amount of space.
It is un-American. It's largely foreign buyers. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
No, but I realized I was spending $8,000.
So what's your beef?
I was spending $8,000 a month on a place that was smaller than my horse's stall.
But
that was $400.
Yeah.
My beef with New York is it's a bad deal.
Correct.
I'm ultimately about this is not a good deal.
Here's why it's not a bad deal.
I'm getting scammed.
Here's why it's not a bad deal.
Every time I turned on the tub, effluvium would come out of the toilet. And then I called a plumber. He came and he goes, well, I can't fix this. And I was like, well, there's got to be a way. And he goes, here's what he said to me. He goes, it's New York.
The things that you don't appreciate, the great food, the great art, the theater, the music, the things you don't care about. The things you don't really care about because you want pimento cheese spread. These are the things why people live in New York. The sports, the nightlife.
The smell of urine.
Okay, people like urine. People
Do you realize that when you walk around New York, you get urine on your feet, and then you walk into your apartment, and you're putting the urine of all of New York City's urine on your floor?
Why are you afraid of urine?
I'm not.
What does it feel?
I've been peed on. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
I've been peed on, and I handled it great.
Good.
Other people's urine on my shoes and
I understand what you're saying.
I'm paying $8,000. I do.
But
believe
as a city, no city functions when it was at its best.
Agreed.
No
Don't
city
disagree.
functions like New York. But
I can go visit for a week and see all the plays and see all the theater and go see Blue Man Group and Stomp and all the greats.
Right.
But when I'm in New York, my thing is, if you grew up without money, I think a lot of the people that love New York so much grew up with money, and it's fun for them to rough it in a small apartment and live with 9 people because everyone I know they grew up without money and they go to New York and they're like, well, I cannot spend $8,000 on this. I grew up in this size apartment.
It's not for everybody.
Why can't I go to sleep at night at midnight and not hear women screaming outside and having to wonder, do I need to call? Is that a murder? I don't know what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, I think many of those women screaming are probably pursuing their artistic endeavors, which I also disagree with.
I remember being in this apartment and hearing screaming, and I'd be like, "Do I go down there? Do I get? Do I help?" And then at 4 a.m, all the food trucks would come and deliver to all the restaurants. So the beep beep beep, the backing up is what you hear at 4 a.m. And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to take a nap." I can't sleep there.
People, I understand that, but people, they discount a lot of that stuff because there's benefits to being there.
Right. Which I would love to be able to live there.
Whereas Austin, let's be very honest.
We're not comparing New York and Austin. It's different.
No, we're not. But we're saying this. As a city, it doesn't exist. I mean, it's not real.
It's Narnia.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You go through the city, you go, this is not anything.
Right.
It's nothing.
It's
a taco on the floor. It's a drunk frat boy. It's someone shooting someone else. What are we doing?
I spent my summers in Texas, and I remember because it's very vast. It's very spread out. That's why people like it.
Can I sue Joe Rogan for being here? Can I sue him?
I think it was the right decision at the time.
Yes.
I think at the time there were so few things shooting and so few things happening. You came here. You did the show a bunch of times. He talked about you moving here. I think that was an important moment.
I love Joe, and I wish it were. And I'm excited to work at his club when he opens it. But as of right now, we're looking at it as a city.
Right.
And as a city, I'm disappointed. Where I live is
more of a
beautiful.
suburb. It's more of a suburb.
I live far away.
You have to want.
It has all the problems of a city with none of the benefits. The traffic, the crime, the bullshit. But you don't get anything good out of it except fucking a barbecue. You ribs. Who cares?
Well,
the entire identity of this city is fucking roasting pigs.
I also think that the indie charm of Austin, South Congress.
It's just rich kids who are now drug addicts. It's not indie charm. It's like I grew up rich.
I should invite them to my Thanksgiving.
Go to Austin. My parents will pay my rent, and I'm gonna try to detox off opiates.
But there used to be a ton of food trucks, and you wait in line, and there was it was like fun and sexy. But like the food, Grace and I went when we stopped on the way to San Antonio, and I was such a loser. I was like, where are the food trucks? And I was like, I went to the receptionist.
The reason that I go so hard at it is because now I have to leave eventually.
Right.
So I know that I go so hard.
This is like when you cheat on someone you're dating, just to
as
know
I get to LA,
make sure it's
I will
over.
start cheating. I will hate it too.